On this episode of The Breakthrough Show, we've got energy hacker, hormone balancer, metabolism master Kristen Owens here. With more than 2 decades in the industry, Kristen is a leading nutrition and holistic lifestyle expert determined to help busy entrepreneurs create healthy habits for sustainable health. In addition to our inspiring conversation full of easy tips and tricks for everyday life, you'll join Kristen and I in the kitchen for not one, but 2 delicious, easy, and fun recipes. With the show today, you'll walk away knowing why Hippocrates said, "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food." All this and more coming up on today's episode.
Life gives us moments when we have the opportunity to make a choice, and what we choose has the potential to change our lives forever. Join us now for another inspired episode of The Breakthrough. And now, please welcome the creator and host of the show, Jessica Dugas.
Welcome back to the Breakthrough Show, everybody. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and as you can see, we are in the kitchen starting this episode out today. We are not at my beautiful little desk setup. We are moved into the kitchen, and I'm super excited about our guest today. I want to take a minute and welcome you all to the show. This is the Breakthrough Show. It's the daytime talk show helping you change the way you look at and live your life through inspirational stories, entertainment, and sometimes cooking, which we're super excited to do today. My special guest is Kristen Owens. She is a leading nutrition and holistic lifestyle expert with more than 2 decades in the industry, you guys. She's a mom. She's a TV host and personality. She does it all, and we're super excited to have her here today, especially because we get to eat too, and we like that. We like that a lot. So welcome to the show, Kristen Owens.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jessica, for having me here. I love being in the kitchen with my friends.
I love it. And I used to love that too. I used to love to have people come over and make different things, and things have changed a little bit in recent days, but I love that we get to do it here together today. So we're going to get into later on introducing more about you and what you do and all of that. But I want to make something, so I have snacks for the show.
Yes, awesome. Okay, so today we're making energy balls. And why are we making energy balls? Because energy balls, I'm all about, as a nutritionist, I'm all about how really we can eat more whole food. However, we want to make sure, whether you're a meat eater or not, it doesn't matter. We do want to add more whole food and more plants into your everyday. And so that's how we can do it by energy balls. Now, for those of you that are like me and have a bit of a sweet tooth, these balls not only are going to satisfy, yes, I know, me too, not only going to satisfy the sweet tooth, but are also going to satisfy your cells and your how your cells work, because you are one big cell. And if they're working optimally by providing your body with good, clean ingredients, your body is going to work better. All right. So we are going to start today with my cacao bliss balls. Now you can call these whatever you want. They basically are chocolate balls. And I don't know about you, but I love chocolate. So, and for those of you that don't like chocolate, I bet you'll still like them. So what we're going to do is typically we start with a nut base. Now, if you are allergic to nuts, obviously you're not going to be using nuts. You can use any kind of flour. Typically, most balls are actually made with nuts. So what I am going to encourage you to do, because these ones are sunflower. So sunflower is going to be much better than obviously pecans or walnuts. So for those of you not friends with nuts, try using the seeds. But we're using pecans today because it's all that I thought I had walnuts. I don't have walnuts. I will tell you that walnuts are amazing in this recipe. Okay, but pecans.
So I was going to ask you this actually, because I cannot eat walnuts. And so the recipe said the other thing was hazelnuts, and I couldn't get those. So I got macadamia, and I hope that's okay.
Totally fine. And you know what's awesome about, and you know what, any nut will work. Macadamia nuts are awesome because they're very buttery. So and make sure, this is another tip, is make sure that you are soaking your nuts and your seeds. That's just not for the balls, that's for everything, because there is like a coating over top of them that actually inhibits the enzymes to break down them, so that because they have to be broken down within your body so you can get the nutrients. So you always want to soak your nuts. Now I have a dehydrator. So what I do is I soak them overnight. I soaked these probably 3 times. I changed the water and then I put them in my dehydrator so that they're raw still. If you don't have a dehydrator, you could even put them in the oven. But honestly, let's keep it simple, because really it's all about simple, easy peasy. And you just soak them and put them in your bowl. So actually, I'm not going to put it in the bowl. I do have my bowls here, but to make it even easier and less dishes to wash, we're going to go over here to my blender. And well, not my blender, but my food processor. And I'm going to put about a cup of sunflower seeds, whatever nuts you have on hand or whatever seeds, you're going to put them in your blender. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take some dates. Now, I recommend, turn it up there. I recommend that you use medjool dates, because medjool dates are very, just really juicy and thick. These ones, I had these organic ones I bought from Costco. They're not so bad. Like you can see here in the screen, they're not so bad, but they're not as juicy as medjool. So I'm going to really encourage you, if you can get them, they're pretty much anywhere. Medjool are delicious. The dates are high in iron, and they are delicious as what we call nature's candy. Okay, so you can put them with almond butter, with peanut butter, delicious. Okay, so I'm going to put a cup. Maybe if when you make this, you find that it's too sweet, what you do is you take a half cup. Perfect. You drop them in. Now it's going to get a little bit loud here, unless we edit it out, but we are going to blend it. All right, so we're going to blend up the dates and the nuts together, and you're going to make sure it becomes a crumbly mixture, and I'll show you that in a moment. All right, so I'm going to show you what this looks like. So the mixture is kind of like that. Okay, so the idea is when you make them into balls, you're going to want to make sure it's wet, because otherwise it will crumble all, all apart, and then you might just have to add water. So that's kind of what I'm going to do, because I'm going to keep blending. Yeah, that's perfect. And when you're using, if you find your dates are a bit hard, you can soak those as well. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put all the other ingredients in. They're going to be there in the show notes for you, so you can see those. I'm going to take my Himalayan sea salt. Himalayan sea salt, not table salt. Himalayan sea salt is really good for minerals. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I take a pinch, it's about 1/8 of a teaspoon maybe, and I'm going to put that in. Okay, it adds additional minerals, which we need because we're deficient in minerals, and our soil is deficient in minerals. So that's going to add extra minerals. I have cacao powder. So cacao powder, as opposed to cocoa powder, if you can't find cacao powder is your next. Yep, that's perfect. So you can see, actually, Jessica, hold that up again. You can see how it's spelled, C-A-C-A-O. Okay, so it's not cocoa. Cocoa is actually refined and it's processed. We want to eat as whole and raw as possible. So raw cacao has not been heated. It has all the benefits that you need. And if you didn't know that raw cacao actually has very, very, very high in magnesium levels, which we are deficient in as well. You're going to hear a common theme about deficiencies, unfortunately, nowadays. Okay, so now we're going to add, what was this? 1/4 of a cup of hemp seeds. Okay, so hemp is very high in fat, good fat. We need fat to function optimally for happy hormones and weight management and skin and cellular health. It also has so healthy fats, fiber. In our society nowadays, we are deficient in fiber. So it's really, really important to make sure that we are getting enough fiber, about 50 grams a day, actually. So that's why you want to increase your whole food diet. Coconut. So coconut's going to be about 1/4 to 1/2 cup. Okay, it just depends on how much you want. And then last but not least, you can use any nut butter that you like. Okay, so again, those of you that are allergic to nuts, you are going to use sunflower. And so it just looks like really, really good for you. So any of the detoxes that I run, we typically will use. So we're going to add this about, what did I say here? Half a cup. I am using almond butter. Okay, now when we put this in the food processor, it's going to be quite sticky. So you may just have to be practice your patience. I'm going to go back to the blender. We're going to blend this up and we are going to make them into balls. So this definitely does not need water. So what you're going to do is you're going to take maybe like a teaspoon or an ice cream scoop. You're going to take out a ball. Oh, these are so good. If you even want, I would even add chocolate chips to this. There's a bit of a crunch, or cacao nibs. Now, cacao nibs don't have much sweetness, but if you want chocolate chips, one of the brands of chocolate chips that I love is Lily's, Lily's. It's actually sugar-free, but it does not have artificial sweeteners. It does have stevia and lakanto, which are very low glycemic, which is great for blood sugar balance. It tastes amazing, and you don't have to worry about the sugar content because we know sugar. Look at those. So now what you can actually do, let me just see here. You can take even coconut. Yeah, look at that. Look how beautiful that is. So you can actually take coconut, hemp seeds, cacao powder, put it on a plate, and then roll it through. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to roll some of these. So we just roll them up. And then moms out there, look at that. Oh my gosh, Jessica, that looks amazing. You can actually get your kids in the kitchen, because when you get your kids in the kitchen, they want to partake and they want to eat the healthy foods that you make. So I'm all about how can we get our kids eating good food. And I mean, let's be honest, a lot of kids, are deterred from vegetables, even fruits. And so what I encourage you to do is, even taking with these energy balls, you can even add, you can add balls that have sweet potato, cauliflower. It doesn't taste, you never even know. And even think about it, we need at least 12 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, right? We need lots of vegetables. It's pretty easy to get fruit. So yeah, we need to make sure we're getting tons of fruits and vegetables.
We have done ones before. My daughter made some that were carrot cake inspired and had shredded carrot in them, and they were so good.
And it tastes just like carrot cake.
Yes.
There may be one in the guide. For that, I can't quite remember. I have so many ball recipes, I really can't even remember. But regardless, it's just, you find your favorite ones and then you tend to make the favorite ones. Oh, they look like snowballs. There you go. So you get your kids doing this and you pop them in the freezer. And I will tell you, the ladies in my community love these balls.
I love it. I love it, Kristen. And these are so good. Now let's talk really quickly before we go to break about like serving size. Like, should we sit and eat this whole thing like at the same time?
Good question. I mean, you probably could, but no, you don't want to eat, this would make, well, I guess it depends on how big the balls are going to be, but this would make quite a number of balls. Like, this will last you, if you're meal prepping, this will last you, could last you the week, right? Unless you have kids that like them and then they're gone. But you're going to, I would say, if you're having a snack, like for example, this is my size here that Jade is making there. Okay, so they're not small, they're not big. I would say have a couple of them if you can only have a couple. We have to remember that there still is sugar in there, right? Like, the sugar is coming from natural sources.
Right.
We don't want to get so caught up in, oh my gosh, there's sugar, we can't eat it. It's really the refined sugars that we want to stay away from. Okay. Dates like I said, there's lots of iron in dates. So, but at the same time, we can also have too much of a good thing, right? So we want to make sure that we're not filling up on something like this, but then we can't eat our lunch that is full of greens and whole grains and legumes and all these good things, right? So
Right.
I'm going to say as a serving, have a couple of them. If you want 3 or 4, have 3 or 4. But again, listen to your body. That's another thing that I like to teach clients that I work with, women in my community, is we need to listen to our body. Your body is going to tell you when we've had enough. And one of the things that's important to remember is it takes 20 minutes for our body to register fullness, for our brain to tell our body that it is full. Okay, so just take your time. Enjoy when you're eating these, actually enjoy it. Sometimes we get so busy that we're just shoving things in our face and we actually didn't even really it, right? So we need to slow down, and we need to, just like they say, slow down and smell the roses. It's the same thing when you go outside. Like if we're rushing from one place to the other, we don't even really realize how much we can be enjoying our everyday.
Yes.
So, yeah. And so I'm going to actually maybe have one of my kids here. She's rolling balls over on the side, and I'm going to have her complete this because we have another recipe.
Yes.
Coming up.
We are super excited. We are super excited to do another recipe at the end of the show with Kristen. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna sit and we're gonna enjoy some conversation, which is also amazing. It's good for I think I love what you do because when we'll talk a little bit more about this, it's a very holistic perspective. And we know that when we're trying to keep ourselves healthy, that mental health is so important. Those relationships are so important. So we're going to sit down and we're going to do that part. And then we're going to come back at the end for more with Kristen. Kristen, thank you so much.
Awesome. See you soon.
Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Welcome back to the Breakthrough Show. I'm really excited to have a fellow mom on with me today. As many of you guys know, when I started my work in mentoring other people, it was all working with moms. And so I love connecting with other moms who are doing amazing things in the world. She's not only a mom, she's a leading expert in nutrition and holistic lifestyle, which you guys know is something I'm really passionate about as well. She's here to share a little bit of her story. And of course, this is the Breakthrough Show. You guys will come away with some tips. I know we will. She is an energy hacker, a hormone balancer, and a metabolism master. Please welcome Kristen Owens to the show. Welcome, Kristen.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited. I love sharing my message to help other women and men, of course, really own their health and just step into a greater place of wellness, because I truly believe that health is wealth. And when you have your health, so much more opportunity is open to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I would love for you to start out today by sharing with our audience something that's bringing you joy in your life right now, right this moment.
Right this moment, you know what? I would say this kind of thing right here. I mean, that's a perfect question. Right this moment, this kind of interview, this platform is what I love. And as I was already sharing with you, that I had a TV show 4 years ago now, and then the station ended up closing down, the one that I worked at. And I would say that it was my absolute favorite time to be able to myself interview people, but also be able to share the knowledge that I've accumulated I've been in the wellness industry 26 years. So be able to share that with others because I eat it, live it, breathe it. And that's what I want to do. So I would say in this moment, really, it's literally in this moment and doing this kind of thing. I love it. I love it.
I'm so glad. Absolutely. I'm so glad to hear that because it really is something that has brought me so much joy in my life as well. And, when I was, we're going to be talking about health things and all of that today. And when I was really in the midst of the struggles that I was going through and at the worst time, I continued to do the show. And there were so many people that were like, Jessica, why aren't you just going to literally take a nap for a month? Like, why aren't you stepping away? And I said, no, I can't do that. This is what makes me get out of bed in the morning and keeps me going. And so it's so fun to get the opportunity to talk to other people and have these conversations that will change the world. We know that people will listen and take it home and apply the things that we talk about and know that they're not alone too.
Absolutely. I agree. And you know what, even if it's just one person that hears the message and is able to implement, because really the fact of the matter is that education information is good, but if we don't actually put it into practice, then nothing changes, right? Exactly. And I always say to clients all the time that, so if we take point A where we are now and point B where we're going, in between point A and point B is where all the hard work happens, right? That's where if you're doing all of this work to, release weight or balance your hormones or get whatever it is that you're doing, go to the gym and have results in your physical body. But in between A and B, and you're doing all the work and it feels like it's a lot, but sometimes you just don't feel like you're getting the results that you're looking for. But you have to keep going because the thing is that once you get to B and you look back at A, you think, wow, I'm a totally different person now 6 months later than what I was. But you don't know that until you get there. So, it's really, if I can just, the listeners right now, that you just can't quit. You got to keep going. And just like you said, it was those in that difficult time that you just kept going because you knew that it was going to help someone else. Because what is it they say? Your test is your testimony and your mess is your message, right? So that. Even though, people listening may not maybe have a business, maybe they don't have a business, but it really is your message, even if it's not something you're making money from necessarily, but it is your message and your testimony, and it's going to help change someone else to maybe lead that person to somebody who can help them go further.
Right. So, I love that. So good. So good. We are on a good roll already this morning. So I would love for you to take us back and maybe to a time when things are very different than how you're living right now, and maybe a different lifestyle or just a different space and time for you when maybe things weren't as good as they are for you right now. And tell us what things were like for you.
So as I was sharing with you when we were chatting last week or whenever it was, and we had a great conversation. And I remember saying about, and I share this story a lot. There's a lot of pieces to my story, but I remember I've always been in the wellness industry. I've been, like I said, 26 years. I started when I was 20, and I started I've figure skated as a kid. And then once I quit skating as a teenager, I knew that I was always active. So I knew I had to do something. So I started doing my own aerobic classes in my room and then teaching my friends. And then of course I was trained. And I remember I was very, very, very shy as a kid. And I'm like, public speaking it was not happening for me. And I remember thinking, I remember not idolizing, but really being inspired by the young instructors they were like university students and young instructors at the gym that I attended, where I lived in Ottawa. And I remember being inspired and thinking to myself, wow, I would love to do that. And so I ended up going through, at the time, this was like many years ago, the YMCA was the only place we can get our training from. And so I went there with my friend to do this. And I remember saying to myself, I'm going to do the training, but I'm not going to teach afterwards, because there is no way I'm going to get up in front of all those people. And so I ended up mentoring that summer with a lady. It just kind of, when you make a decision to do something, I made the decision to do the training, not to teach. And when you make a decision to do something, it's amazing how things open up to you, because I made a decision to train. I wasn't going to teach, but then all of a sudden, I don't even know how it happened, but all of a sudden, that summer I was introduced to this woman who had a fitness studio, and she mentored me. And because she mentored me, and there's a lot of pieces here that you can take away and learn and take for yourself here, those listening, is that I mentored with her, and she made the steps easier for me. So she broke it down. And after that summer, I spent 2-3 months with her. And after that summer, I ended up moving to London, Ontario to go to college for fitness and health promotion and kinesiology and all that kind of stuff. But I remember, and I taught when I was there, that was my job. And I remember I didn't want to teach. And then after I was done with her, because she broke it down, gave me step-by-step pieces that I could follow and learn, and my confidence grew. Remember point A and point B? Yeah. My confidence grew. I was going from point A now closer to point B. My confidence grew, and I started teaching. And it's because she gave me a little bits at a time. You're going to teach the warm up to my class, then you're going to teach the cool down. And I was confident. And so anyways, I'm saying that because that's not really what I was going to share, but that kind of came out, and I believe there's a reason why it did. But that's one piece of it. But then fast forward, when I was 23, I knew, quite a bit about health, but not quite what I know now. Right. And I remember going to the doctor because I was exhausted. Okay. At 23 years old, I was exhausted. And I remember I was managing a corporate fitness facility. I was running a Pilates business, going all over the GTA, Greater Toronto area. And you think 23 years old, you have lots of energy, you can do anything, right? But I was exhausted, and I didn't know what was going on. Went to the doctor. The doctor basically said, you're going to just drink orange juice and you'll be fine. And I thought, that doesn't seem right. So the tip number 2 here is listen to your gut, like your inner wisdom is going to lead you in the right direction. So I thought to myself, no, there's something not right. There's something not right. And I said, I guess I have to take my health into my own hands. I made that decision unconsciously. I didn't realize it. And so guess what happened? Again, I made a decision, and then all of a sudden things started opening up. And so from there, I met somebody at my Pilates class, a member of mine. We started talking, and she hit on every pain point that I had, fatigue and all the things that I had at the time. And I said, sign me up. And it was a product at the time. And I knew that's what I needed. And so and then that's when I started getting my health back on journey and feeling good, because my skin was breaking out. I was bloated. I didn't have energy. I didn't sleep well. I was crashing out at 6 o'clock in the evening at 23 years old. Right. So then from there, I had this journey can go on for 26 years, and I won't go on that long, but really what I'm trying to say is that led me into, I had my first daughter at 28. And that led me into more of the natural, holistic space. But I always have led that unconventional life. When everyone is going in this direction, I don't follow what everyone's doing. I go in the direction that feels what my inner knowing knows what is best. So we really do have to, and that's one of the things I teach my community, I teach my clients, is you have to listen inwards. And just because everyone is doing this and it seems like a good thing, but is that right for you? Right. So that's really what led me to where I am. Fast forward all these years, and I've done herbal training, done all this training on energy, medicine, all of this training. And it really comes back to, again, remembering that you can have so much and be doing nothing, right? Or you can just start with, and this is what I encourage today of anyone that's listening, is just we're going to be talking about a lot because it always just becomes jam-packed, but there's going to be one thing, maybe 2 things that are going to resonate with you. And you're going to take that and you're going to start in point A, let's see where you are today. And you're going to start implementing that step. And then if you feel like you need to go further, then you can always reach out to me. There's lots of people you can reach out to, but it's just taking that step and being consistent. Right. Because that will then open a door, and you'll know if you're in the right direction or not.
Yeah. Do you think that, because I know a lot of people get to the point of where, and I know that this was the case for me, where everything has sort of piled up, and now they're in a space of almost emergent, like, I've got to change something now. And then they don't, because they feel like just taking that one little, well, it's not going to do enough. You know how many times I've heard somebody say, well, I'm going to eat whatever I want because I'm going to die anyway. So it's, and taking that, sort of going to that extreme. And so how do you approach someone who maybe has a laundry list of things going on, and they think doing one little thing isn't going to matter?
Yeah, it absolutely will matter, because you have to start somewhere, right? You have to just start somewhere. It's kind of like, you know, looking for a job. Like, there's all these, so much out there, but if you just don't start by looking, or all these platforms, if you just start looking on one platform, and then, remember too, that we have to start somewhere, and then we have to kind of gauge where we're at. Okay, so now I feel like I need to go down this road, because the thing is that a lot of people listening will be like, well, I'm not really sure what's my inner knowing is saying. Like, I have no idea, because there's so much going on. Just start by, like what we talk about in terms of, say, some tips of, boosting your metabolism or releasing weight. Cause that's what a lot of women come to see me for, is the top 3 things is weight loss and energy and balancing hormones. So then we start with, there can be so much going on. Just like when I have clients that would, many times in the past, that would come in to see me with various health conditions. I've kind of streamlined it now, but they would come in and I would have women, oh my gosh, there was like boatloads of stuff. And I would say to them, we're just going to start here. And so it could be something as simple as, because this nutrient is the most important nutrient before food, and that's water. You can just start with, how much water are you drinking a day? Like, how much water are you drinking? And people say, I even have to, sometimes I'm hounding my clients. I feel like I'm hounding them. And they come back and they say, no, Kristen, I know how important it is, because water, if you're having headaches, or if you're tired, water is like the number one, lack of water is the number one reason why you have headaches. Usually that's what they say. And also, being dehydrated leads to fatigue. Right. So if you can just start by, because most people say, well, I'm not drinking enough water. And I say, okay, let's start there. So we get into the habit of drinking the water, and water is water, clean, filtered water, not tap water, because tap water has 300 plus chemicals. And so you don't want to be putting that into your body, because what happens then is that's going to, throw your metabolism off. It's going to mess up the hormones, all the things. We all are born with a water table. And when you're a baby, your water table is like, you are like water, all water, right? The baby actually lives in water. So we have a very, very, very high water content. Every 10 years it drops, but especially when you hit 40, your water table drops dramatically. And I don't know, women, men too, but if you've noticed past 40, if you notice that you need to drink more water, or you're just not satisfied with the water that you used to drink, it's because your water table has gone down. When we hit 50, it goes down even more. We need more water. So, so anyways, water is going to be important. So using that as an example is, you just start finding, okay, how much do you drink right now? I drink probably 2 glasses. Okay, great. Can we get to 1 liter a day to start? Let's do that for a few days. And then let's boost that up to 2 liters. And just start with 1 a day. If you're just getting a glass or 2, 1 of these a day, then make it 2, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. And you just slowly make it a habit, right? Because habits are made and formed as we do something over and over. But you have to make a conscious decision. You have to be very intentional about it, because really, how easy is it for us to forget? I mean, I forget many times. Like, I get on a podcast, then I have a client, then I have another client. I'm like, oh my gosh, no wonder my lips are dry, right? So we have to be very conscious and intentional about it.
Yeah.
So to break it all down, answering that question is, you just start somewhere and you take small steps forward. And then when you're like, you know what, I got this, then you add another step.
Yeah. I love that. Great ideas. I wanted to ask you also, because you talked about how you always, have been the one that's kind of doing things that other people maybe aren't doing, or being outside of the box a little bit. I know that some of the other issues that people have when they make big changes, especially when we're talking about health, is that they'll have the people that are in their circle, their friends, their family, they don't understand why they're choosing to go this route. It may be more difficult for them to find support. What do you suggest for people like that? What have you done in your own life to maybe surround yourself with people that are more understanding of the choices that you make, or are going to be supportive of them?
Yeah, good question. Because that's huge, and that's why I've actually, I mean, really, that's why I've created the Facebook community that I have. The biggest reason why people will come to me, yes, because of the issues that they're having, but it's because they're looking for that community. The
Mm.
reasons why people stay with me, yes, okay, they have results, but it's the community. It's other women that are in there that are different ages, typically between 35 and 65, different ages, but they all are like-minded. And it doesn't even really matter our age, right? Like, it's amazing how you can connect with someone that's 20, 30 years older than you, but it's because you have the same likes and dislikes, right? Or at least likes, and you're going down the same path. So when we do it with other people,
Mm.
and it's proven, right? It's proven that you are 70% more likely to achieve your goals when you are doing it with somebody else. And so that's why in my group programs, I tell people, find a buddy, or I'll partner people up. And that is their accountability buddy, because some people are shy to reach out to other people. I just partner them up, or have them, bring their friends along, right?
Yeah.
It's, we thrive on community. Humans want to be around other humans.
Yeah. And we were joking around before we started recording today about technology and how far it's come and all of that. It's a beautiful time to find your people, I think, and find those like-minded people and do things together now that we have things like social media. Because I know that, like, we just moved and my daughter's still taking dance classes. She takes them on Zoom, but she still takes her dance classes, and she's still doing, that gets her exercise in and learns her new steps and is still with her friends. And that aspect, is it in a classroom? No, but it doesn't mean that can't work. And it's what's had to work for me as well, because I don't have a support system near me. So I've created the one that I've needed online, and it's worked out beautifully. I'd love to know, what are some of the biggest breakthroughs you have personally experienced as far as your health is concerned?
I would say, it's been so long, my gosh, so many years, and so much has happened, um, really over the years, right? So I'm going to say, because again, it's not, for people listening, that it's so important to understand that breakthroughs that happen don't happen overnight. They are made, right? And so success is made over time, and change, and it's really who you become. So I would say, um, I probably share this a lot, but this is what I truly, truly believe is, when I started out at, I'm going to say 28, not even back when I told you my story from when I was 23, but when I was 28, I know that what I started learning, and now I teach, and of course that's grown. What I've started learning from 28, starting out in the learning about gut health, going to school for holistic nutrition, and then energy work, and all the things I've done, is that I just started first with, okay, I started reading. I'm like, you know what? I have to do this. I implemented it. And we just started, like, for example, I was doing meatless Mondays, and a couple days a week, we were just doing more vegetarian meals. And then it went to something else. And then, taking the toxins out of my home with, the cleaning products, like using essential oils, that sort of thing. So we were reducing our toxic load, because I was learning about the cleaning products in our home and what they actually do to our health. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to make a change. So I did that. So this is what kept happening over the years, over all of these years, 18 years. And I will tell you that the breakthrough, even though we want the breakthrough to be like, all of a sudden, it's like the heavens part, but it doesn't work that way. The breakthrough for me, honestly, And I continue having breakthroughs because it's a journey, and we continue to learn and we change, we grow and we change. So the breakthrough, the biggest breakthrough, I would say, and I say this to everyone because I believe this wholeheartedly. I know without a doubt, I know this because of my education. I know this because of what I've been studying, all the summits I've been on, listening to and learning from mentors of mine, and then what I've experienced in my own body is I know without a shadow of a doubt that I would not be at 46, I would not be feeling the way that I feel. And I wouldn't be here if I didn't start. I'm not saying it takes 18 years, but 7 years, you will have an entirely new body. In 3 months, your body has already changed. In 2 to 3 days, your skin cells renew, right? Your cells are always dying, regenerating. I know without a shadow of a doubt that I would not be where I'm at and how I'm feeling if I didn't start taking those steps. I probably would have arthritis. I mean, I can't tell you how many women that are 46 that tell me that they feel like they're in their 50s. They have extra weight, especially belly weight. Their muscle mass. One woman from my church, she always says to me, she said to me, you know, once you get past 50, your muscle mass is going to drop and it's going to be so much harder. And I'm like, well, that is a fact. But the way I live my life is conducive to my bone density growing and building. What am I doing? Have I got my 12 servings of vegetables and produce? You know, I'm looking at these things that I teach. And so I know for a fact that I wouldn't be where I am. And that, in my opinion, is a breakthrough. And so I just keep doing that. And really the biggest thing for those listening is if you just keep going and you just keep learning, and you're a part of a community like what I offer, that is going to help you get into that right direction. But I would say that's the biggest breakthrough. Is the breakthrough doesn't happen right away. It takes time, and it doesn't feel like things are happening or changing, but they are. Because if you understand how your body works and how your cells die and regenerate, it has to change. It has to change.
Yeah.
Because our body doesn't stay the same. It's either growing or dying.
Right.
And it's just based on our choices.
Yeah. So many good tips you've given us today. And I think, you know, the biggest message that everyone can walk away with from you is just to start somewhere and to take those little steps and to not be discouraged by that, and find other people that are also taking those little steps. And you know that you're not alone throughout the process. Kristen, where can everybody find you?
Yes. So finding me, Facebook. My Facebook page is Kristen Owens Wellness. And I have a Facebook group called Making Health a Habit with Kristen Owens. And those links will likely be in the show notes. And Instagram, I am Kristen Owens Wellness as well. Pretty much everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook are Kristen Owens Wellness. And on my YouTube channel, I have yoga, Pilates videos there. I've got cooking stuff there, like making energy balls and educational stuff. And really good place to be. And then I also, I have 2 freebies actually that will be linked below. One of them is my 4-day, basically cleanse jumpstart, because it's all about, you know, making sure that we improve the toxic load within our body. I guess improve it. Well, we want to reduce it. And this will help you, but it will also help you to gain energy and really start implementing, because there's meals in there, recipes in there. It's pretty much a guideline. You just follow it. That is going to help you jumpstart. So if you're unsure where to start, or if you want to try something new, something different, everything I do is based on minerals and based on food.
Yes. Well, everybody be sure to check out the show notes where you can find all the information on how to connect with Kristen. Well, we'll be back in just a minute for more of The Breakthrough Show. Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing. Healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer.
It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every month for exclusive programming, where we invite you to go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the Breakthrough Show. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I'm back with Kristen Owens today. We are back in the kitchen. I loved everything you said in our conversation today, Kristen, and I think you're doing, providing a space for women, especially, to wake up to what their bodies are telling them. I think that that's the biggest part of what you do. And I'm excited to be back in the kitchen because we're going to make another recipe. We did our cacao bliss balls in the beginning. What are we making now, Kristen?
We are making, I guess we can call them lemon bliss balls because really the balls are blissful, right? So they're all about the lemon. And one of the things I want to mention is lemons are so essential for, the health of our body. If you want to age well, if you want to, have balanced hormones, if you want to feel cleaner, if you want a glower skin tone, lemons are your friend. We are going to use a cup of dates. Now, again, when you try these, awesome. When you try these, if they're too sweet, you use less. You get to decide how you like these, right? In there, I'm doing sunflower seeds. So again, this one is actually the recipe calls for sunflower seeds. Again, you want to soak them. We're putting in a cup of sunflowers. So I put a cup of dates, that's what's actually in the guide and the recipe. But again, you can decide if it's a little bit too sweet. So this here, to me, is drier, but that's okay because we're going to be adding lemons to it. So we've got 2 lemons. Okay, so my lemon is about, kind of like this size. I guess they're medium size. So you're going to take a lemon squeezer, which makes things there you go. It makes it much easier. And you're going to put the lemon in and we're going to squeeze it in. So this is 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. Okay, so we're going to add chia. Why do we add chia? Because just like I said in the first video, we need more fiber and we need healthy fat. All right, we've got a half a cup. So you can I did a half a cup. You can also do a quarter of a cup coconut because these are coconut lemon balls. So very refreshing, especially now that spring is here. So delicious. So you can add this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to blend. Okay, so now here we are again. So there's my dough. Grace, I need you, honey. So we are going to, you can make some here, and we're going to actually roll them. Well, you can roll them. You don't have to, but you can make balls. And we're going to actually, there we go. We're going to roll them into the coconuts because they just look so much nicer. And if you don't like coconut, you can do hemp seeds. You can even probably, I don't know if you'd want to put cacao in this one, but so there is our lemon snowball. These balls are really going to help you to just supply your body with nutrients, give your body what it needs, and give your body that sweet treat that is also going to nourish you at the same time.
Absolutely.
So it's a win-win. It's a win-win.
It is. It is for sure. Kristen, this has been so fun. I cannot wait to dig into these later on. I wanted to ask you one more question about these before we finish up today. And that's, are these good for an after workout snack?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You want to make sure that, even before workout, you want to make sure that after working out within an hour that you're replenishing your body. When I say a workout, where you've actually worked your muscles, where you're, you need to replenish, right? So I would say this would be good if you haven't eaten since lunch, you're working out at the end of the day, then you can have a couple of these. But after your workout, you want to make sure you're eating within an hour period just to replenish the muscles, and because they're going to be stretched, torn, and then we need to grow them, right? So we need to make sure we've got proper carbs, proper protein, that sort of thing. So yeah.
Awesome tip. Well, Kristen, tell everybody about where they can find you and also what you have going on for everybody right now.
Yes. So month of April, because I know this, our episode here is coming out for April. And so in my Facebook community specifically, which my group is called, we'll link it in the show notes, but it's Making Health a Habit with Kristen Owens. And this really every month is a theme in there. It's all about aging well. It's about disease prevention. It's about you just feeling better, regardless of where you're at and or what you're dealing with. And so for the month of April, we are doing a plant-powered challenge. Does this mean that you have to be completely plant-based? No, but like I said in the beginning, it is imperative. We need more. You know this already. I don't have to tell you this. You know this, that we need more plants. And so this is where we will be doing, you choose the meal, one meal a day, where you're going to be doing plant-based. But the cool thing is that I'm going to be every single day in the group starting April 1st. I'm going to be actually having posts go out of different plant-based recipes that are amazingly delicious. So after 30 days, you will have 30 recipes from various different bloggers that I follow. 3 of them that I love specifically, and recipes that I've tried. There'll also be every Wednesday in my group, I also do live training. So I'm going to be specifically teaching throughout that month, but especially on those Wednesdays, I'm going to be specifically teaching on, if I'm eating a plant-based meal, where am I getting my protein? How the power of food, what maybe you don't know about what food can do for you, because Hippocrates said, let food be your medicine, medicine be your food. So food can change a whole lot of things in your body, but we just have to start one meal at a time.
Absolutely. Kristen, thank you so much. I love everything you've shared today. I'm so thankful that you gave us these great recipes to have. And like I said before, you guys, it's such a win to just make these little changes. And that's something that's really been such a huge part of my journey as well, is learning to celebrate those little things. Even 20 minutes on the bike instead of not at all, bees instead of Oreos, 15 minutes extra sleep, all of these things that we do to take care of ourselves are so important, you guys, especially for my ladies that watch the show. It's just so important for us. Kristen, thank you so much for being here today.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Bye, everyone.
All right, you guys, make sure you check out the show notes where you can find all of the ways to connect with Kristen. Make sure you join her community, check out everything she has to offer. It has been an incredible show today. Thank you so much to Kristen for being here. Thanks to all of you for watching or listening wherever you are. I've got to go wash my hands, so that means it's time to go. I will see you guys next week. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and this has been The Breakthrough Show. I want you to make every day a great day for The Breakthrough. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Breakthrough. Please visit our website at www.thebreakthroughshow.com and be sure to join our After the Breakthrough